just pray that we enjoy this journey. No matter where we are, no matter what rank we are, that we just enjoy the journey and we just appreciate the blessing. Thank you, Father, for the leadership of Jana and Amber, for their humility and their vulnerability and their tenacity. Those are all big, awesome words that every leader should have, and they definitely encompass those words. We praise you in advance for all that you're going to do. In your Son's name, amen.
All right. Thank you, Ann. I appreciate it. Okay, so I see lots and lots of couples on here. Super exciting. I'm feeling kind of like the third wheel right now, but we're going to have a lot of fun anyway. So, and I think our guests are on here too. Yay. Okay, so we're going to start off. We have some prizes to give away to some couples tonight. All right. So, Amber, are you unmuted?
Yeah. Let me just say, we came up with these because I love cheesiness, and we wanted to make this as cheesy as possible. So that's really what's about to happen. So just get ready.
It's very cheese-tastic, I'm telling you. Okay, so how do you think we should have everybody answer? Oh, you know what? We'll just.
I say we go through, who more than such and such. I'm trying not to give away the questions. And then the final ones will unmute and just tell us a little bit.
Okay, so we have everybody muted. So we're going to start off. First question of the night is, and I guess even if you're, look, there's John. Terry's got John on our little, on our phone. That's so cute.
Cute. Now, even if your spouse isn't with you can still answer.
You can still answer. Okay. All right. So we want to know the couple that has been married the longest. So stay with me. If you have been married 20 plus years, that would be me. Yay. All right. Stay with me. All right. I know we got some more. I know we got some on here. Okay. Stay with me if you've been married 25 plus years. All right. I know we've got several on here. Okay. So let's go ahead and go on up to 30. Do we have any 30s? I think we do. Okay. If you've been married 30 years or longer.
Is our mom on this phone?
I don't see her. If you've been married over 30 years, then I want you to unmute, and I'm going to try to go through and see. Okay. I see, Elaine says they've been married for 40 and a half years.
Wow. 34 years for Lori Everest.
I tell you what, I'm going to mute everybody again. That's not going to work. Why don't we just have you comment? Everybody use the chat feature down there and comment. So Elaine says they've been married 40 and a half years. Is there anybody that beats 40 and a half years? If you do, speak now or forever hold your peace.
I like that.
All right.
40 and a half.
Yes.
I think that's cute.
You count every moment. All right. So Elaine, you are our winner. And I don't have a piece of paper. I need to go write this down. Hey, go give me a piece of paper.
I have it here.
All right. All right, Amber.
And surprise, Elaine. These prizes, I mean, these are life-changing, you guys. You're going to get, are you ready? A $10 Target gift card. We don't mess around here with these contests, okay? $10 to Target, y'all. Plus, you gain our respect for being married for 40 and a half years, okay?
40 and a half years got you a $10 Target gift card. That's impressive right there.
Well done. Well done. Okay, yes, 40 years is incredible. That's awesome. You don't hear of that happening a whole lot in today's world. Okay, I think I know who's going to get this. She's on this call, but the couple that's been married the shortest amount of time is Jackie Lopez on this call. Okay, so you've been married 5 years or less. Thumbs up. 5 years or less. Okay. How about 3 years or less? Okay, you got married within the past year. Keep your thumbs up. Okay, Becca Hall, can you unmute and tell us when you guys got married?
June 20th.
June 20th. Does anybody, beat June 20th? You got married a little bit after that? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Rebecca, what's your husband's name?
Dustin.
You guys get to split that $10 Target gift card.
Woo!
I mean, there's a lot of big ones in there for both of y'all.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right.
Question. Go for it, Jana.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to the couple with the most children. Okay, so give me a big thumbs up if you have 3 or more. 3 or more kiddos. Let's see it. Okay. Keep your thumbs up if you have 4 or more. Okay, let's see. I'm looking through here. We've got several. Okay, keep your thumbs up. Ooh, if we have no dogs, do not count, Vicki.
Do not count.
Sorry, they should, but they don't. Keep your thumbs up if you have 5 or more. Do we have any with 5? I'm looking. Unmute.
Jeannie Ledford, go ahead and unmute and tell us how many kids y'all have.
Yeah.
Between us, we have 6.
Woo!
6. I think you win.
Someone's saying they can't hear us, and I think everyone else can hear us today. So just make sure that your volume's turned up on your computer. Does anybody else have more than 6?
Anybody with more than 6? All right. Yay. Well, with 6 kids, you're going to need that $10 Target gift card. All right. So, Jeannie, you're getting a $10. You and your spouse, you guys get to split. That's awesome. Aw, Stacy's one of those 6. That's so sweet.
That's awesome.
All right, Amber.
Okay, last question. And let me just say, I had to throw this one in here because I saw how my parents' lives changed with their grandkids. Like, they turned into completely different people. Jana had to, like, years and years ago, her oldest had to get a spanking, and my dad's eyes literally were filling with tears. And I'm like, you didn't do that when I had to get spankings. But anyways, okay, couple with the most grandkids. You have the most grandbabies. I know y'all want to brag on your grandbabies. So, okay, you have 1 grandbaby. At least 1, give us a thumbs up. Just so y'all can brag a little bit.
It counts, Terry. They can still be in the womb. It counts.
It counts. Okay, 3 or more. Keep your thumbs up. 4 or more. Okay, I'm gonna take a leap. 7 or more. Whoa. Man, Jeannie, they're gonna walk away with $20 to Target if we're not careful.
Man, you guys are lucky.
10 or more grandkids. Okay, Jeannie, how many do y'all have? She's like 47 grandkids.
We have 14.
Oh,
Wow.
my word. Okay, does anybody else beat 14?
You can give it to somebody else, though, since I already won.
Hey, if you have 14 grandkids, you deserve $20 in Target gift cards. That's all I'm saying.
6 kids and
That's all I'm saying.
grandkids. I think you'll spend the $20 to Target pretty easily.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it.
Get them all a Coke.
Stacy's like,
And that's
4 of
awesome.
those are mine. All right, guys, that's all we have. We just wanted to have a little fun tonight, make it real relaxed, and welcome all of you spouses that aren't always with us on these calls. Kudos for you guys to getting on here just to be supportive of your spouse. We're super excited about tonight. We love this couple that's going to be talking to us. Jake and Timie Yancey, they're pretty much awesome. Jake's an Emerald Ambassador, Timmy's Sapphire Ambassador. They're hilarious. They're so much fun to be around. I read something the other day that someone had put on Facebook about Timie, how she makes everyone feel like they're the most important person in the room, and it's very, very true. Except when I'm around, I am the most important person in the room, so duh. But anyway, I'm just kidding. But we are so honored that they have decided to hop on here and join us tonight. So Jake and Timie, if you guys would unmute, and they're just going to take a little time and tell us their story with Plexus. And then we're going to do a Q&A in just a little bit. Jana, did you have anything you wanted to add?
I don't think so. I'm super excited about this.
All right.
Amber was asking me for questions today, and one of my questions was going to be who's had the most recent fight, but we decided to take that one out.
The most recent fight.
I thought it could be fun, but I'm just saying, I thought it was going to be a lot of fun, but she missed that one. All right, yeah, I'm super excited to hear from Jake and Timie. We met them in Hawaii and talk about fun and just awesome people. So, yeah, I'm super pumped.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, guys.
First off, I have to say 87 people on this call. Holy moly. Y'all are awesome. Congratulations. Y'all have a rocking team. That's really exciting. So, okay, we've got a list of questions, but I'll kind of, so that you can appreciate, I'll kind of tell you a little bit about how we got started. So, I started like so many of you out there. All I knew about Plexus was that, hey, you could lose a little bit of weight naturally. So after having 2 kids back to back, I hopped on board the cheapest way possible, wholesale ambassador, did not plan to sell at all, and started the products. I fell in love with the products, and for those who don't know me, I have a gigantic mouth. Like, I love people. So I just started telling everybody in the world about how awesome Plexus was. My husband over here, my super skeptic, literally begged me not to do Plexus. Like, he was like, let's not do this. We don't know anything about this company, about these products. Let's just like reel it in, sister. Like, enjoy taking them yourself, but let's just like not get anybody else involved. But like any great wife, I didn't listen. And I kept telling people about Plexus. So it took Jake 4 months, and I'll let him tell you this story, but just remember, this story that he's fixing to tell you about what he did is 100% true. So it took him 4 months to get on board with the vision of Plexus as a business. And let me say, once he did, both of our businesses skyrocketed. It changed the dynamics of everything. So I went Emerald in 7 months. Notice right after Jake got on board. He went Emerald in 11 months, and I went Sapphire in 11 months, and that's where I'm at right now. So anyways, it's been the best year of our life, and I'm going to let my super skeptic over here tell you a little bit about how he got started with Plexus.
Hey, guys. Yeah, I actually texted her and said, hey, I know Christy's supposed to come over tonight and tell you about the business and how awesome it is, but we don't have time for this right now, so tell her not to waste her time. And she didn't listen. So basically what happened was she started the products and then started losing weight and feeling better and was in a better mood. And
I'm always in a good mood.
So I was okay with that. But what I didn't want to happen was I didn't know anything about the company. I didn't know anything about the product. So I was skeptical. And I purposefully kind of kept myself separated from her and her business at first because I wanted to vet the situation and make sure that we weren't getting ourselves into something that we didn't want to be. And I certainly didn't want to drag our friends and family into something that just wasn't what we thought it would be. So I stayed, completely separate for 4 months and just really took a look at everything she was doing from the back, just kind of from the back seat. And what happened was she actually fast started to Senior Gold. And so the first month, out of the first 4 weeks that she was doing Plexus, we were at the beach for 3 weeks. And at this point, I was like, I don't want you doing this. This is crazy. And she was doing the whole talk to text, and it was just driving me crazy.
We were on a romantical dinner, and I was like, just click Ambassador, join now. And he's like.
I was on the 12th hour of a 13-hour drive with 2 infant children, and she's over there texting away. And, But anyway, so I was skeptical, and then we got home, and she had fast started, and we got a check from Plexus, and I was really skeptical after I saw that check. I was like, I think, I'm really concerned about what's going on here. I got to get to the bottom of it.
He thought it was illegal.
Yeah. And so shortly after that, she won the Silver Star trip, and we went to Phoenix and toured the corporate headquarters, and I just knew that I was going to find this closet full of children counting pills somewhere in the corporate headquarters, but I didn't find it. I was faking phone calls, looking for the bathroom everywhere I could.
This is a true story.
And I found the exact opposite. It was a group of guys that really are trustworthy and people that I'm really comfortable with putting our future in their hands. And, they've proven that every day since, that they're the leaders that we want them to be. And everybody at Corporate Plexus is really enjoying themselves. So that was pretty fun.
Okay, so we have a list of questions. Jana, do you want us to just go through the questions, or did you want to ask us?
Yeah, we'll ask you. Me and Amber can ask you the questions. So that was hilarious. A closet full of kids.
I mean, if he seriously did, I was like, he would disappear, and I'd be like, where's Jake? And he'd come out of like, just taking a phone call back here in compliance.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Okay, so yes, so we asked our team several questions that they wanted to ask you. And here's the first one. What is the best way that you have found to balance your marriage and your business? And there's a second part to this question. When you are gaining momentum with your business, it tends to be consuming. Do you have specific days or nights set aside just for your partner?
Okay, well, I'll start and then you can answer. So it's really interesting. It's so funny. We spoke in Canada at Super Saturday, and I thought Jake said one of the funniest things ever. He got up on stage and said, when he was doing his introduction, he said, "Hi, we're Timie and Jake, and we can't clean the kitchen together, yet somehow corporate put us together up here to speak and just see what happens." And that is literally how it's been. I mean, we're both very dominant, so when it comes to certain tasks, we are not always great working together, but the Plexus business has been really awesome. I feel like it's made our marriage even better, especially once he got on board and really joined me with it. It's been a really fun outlet for us. We brainstorm back and forth together. And so, yeah, it is consuming. I feel like, you can work your Plexus business however you want to, and however many hours you have. The key to working your Plexus business is being consistent every single day. So whether you're working it an hour a day, or here lately, I feel like I'm really on track, so I'm working it probably 12 hours a day, but as long as especially if you have your spouse doing it with you, y'all can have fun with it. It's something that you can incorporate into your life. I mean, we go to the tennis courts and I'll be like, "Hey, what do you think about doing something else?" And we're still having fun together and brainstorming, that sort of thing. So I feel like that it just goes hand in hand. So as far as like setting date nights aside specifically for your partner, we don't really do that.
We just fit it in. Our life's crazy in general. Just like everybody else's is. So
and that's
it's
one
impossible
reason,
to say.
That's one reason he didn't want me to do Plexus, is because you were afraid it would take away.
Yeah. But it's impossible for us to say, "Oh, let's go on a date night," or whatever. But I feel like when we do work Plexus together, it's been fun. There are bad days. And today was one of those days where some stuff happened on our team yesterday, and then last night some other stuff, some
nothing major, don't get worried,
major,
just the ins and outs of.
Yeah, I mean, and if you've worked your Plexus business very long, there's peaks and there's valleys, and yesterday was one of those valleys, and then it carried over into today where it was just like, oh, there's something else that we've got to deal with. And so to me, it's just a matter of, it's fun to celebrate those wins together, but don't get so down when you're in a valley. Look at it as part of your business. I own another business, and for years I drove myself crazy, trying to eliminate the valleys. And I've figured out after 5 years that you can't eliminate valleys. No matter what you're doing, your boss is going to suck 10% of the time. Your customers are going to give you
your boss?
No, I'm just saying, your boss, whoever has a normal job, you're 10% of your day is no fun, no matter where you work. And so just keep that in mind as you work your Plexus business, that there's going to be 10% of it that's not fun, but don't let that kind of overshadow the good times, and you can enjoy those good times together.
And
that's what makes it fun.
Something else I've had to like really, and I'm still working on this, and I can't remember who told it, one of my mentors. And that's the cool thing about Plexus. You can have mentors that even aren't on your team. It's so fun, and it's one Plexus. But one of my mentors said, there are no emergencies in network marketing. And that's something that I've really I still have to remind myself, because, when your people have an issue, kind of like last night and today, it's not an emergency. Like that's the beauty of this company. If you want to go to dinner with your husband, or if you want to go eat lunch with your kids at school, there are no emergencies that can't wait for that. So I think that's the cool part, and that's kind of how we do life. I mean, I'm pretty present 90% of the time, but if we have something planned, you got to have fun and live your life too, and go do that. There are no emergencies. That's the beauty of this business. Jake had to remind me that today. Make your list of what you want to do. Even though this feels like an emergency, do what you can and then move on. And so that's kind of how we handle it. Are you ready for number 2?
I was actually thinking about that today as I was getting ready to send you these questions, that it's not a life or death situation, and it can be handled in a little while. So sometimes you have to put your phone down, walk away. We actually got a home phone a couple weeks ago. Like, we stepped back.
What is that?
I know, right? So that there are those times I need to be able to set my phone down, my cell phone, and walk away. But we have the home phone, so family and stuff can still reach us. We really just get political calls right now. But anyway, so that's always fun.
Yeah. Just answer it. Answer it. Plexus Worldwide.
$34.95 can change your life.
Yeah. Are you tired of your everyday job?
How did you know it was on our voicemail? Have you called us?
Are you tired of your everyday job?
I keep getting those. That's what made me think about it. I'm like, no, I love my job.
Okay, so next question. I know that there's no one like this on our team. Okay, let's just pretend that someone out there has a spouse that's maybe not completely on board. Maybe they're like Jake was at the very beginning. And you guys have talked about this a little bit, but and those of y'all that your spouse is completely on board, which I think that's part of why I've been successful, is part of why Jana's been successful, is that our spouses are 100%, let's do this, let's get on board. But if you're like that, still listen in and take notes, because the odds of you having someone like this on your team and they're going to need you to help them down the road is probably pretty great. So just talk to that. What's your best, or why is it important that the spouse get on board, and what is the best way that you think to do that?
You want to start? We talked about this. He had a really good answer.
Okay.
Okay. So to me, once I figured out that it was okay and the products were going to kill our friends and family, I immediately started listening to context clues that people were just throughout daily conversation. I wasn't bringing up Plexus. I was just listening to what they were saying. And, people were mentioning they were tired, or they were, need to make some money and that kind of stuff. And so I would pass them on to Timie. It was just like, I wouldn't even say anything to him about Plexus because I didn't know anything about it. I would just say, oh, yeah, that's kind of what you can help with. So, Timie, call this person or Facebook this person.
You're like, hey, Mary's diabetic, Timie. Talk to her.
And so I felt like they had a problem that my wife could help with, so why not let her try to help her? And so, 2 sets of ears are definitely better than one, if nothing else. But after that, what really sold it for me was seeing the difference that it made in my friends' lives. My best friend in the world lost 70 pounds, and it was just a horrible situation. He weighed 400 pounds, and he had surgery and was going on bed rest. And I knew he was going to weigh 500 pounds. And I sat there and I watched him. I knew that it was just a bad situation for him. And all he did for basically 7 7 weeks was take the triplex, and lay around on the bed because that's all he could do. He eventually started walking after 5 or 6 weeks, but that's, he had already lost 50 pounds at that point. So I think once men see something like that, they kind of take a hold of it and they go, oh, this is, this works. Now, men are difficult at best to please or to notice these changes in their lives.
Or even admit.
I've got a good friend that he started the triplex, and a couple of weeks goes by. I'm like, hey man, how you feeling? And he's like, I feel okay, but I really haven't noticed any weight loss or anything like that. I'm like, oh, okay. You taking the products every day? And he goes, yeah. He said, I did go to the doctor last week, and my blood sugar is, or my blood pressure is lowered to a point that they're taking me off of my blood pressure medication. And I'm like, did you just not tell me that you didn't notice a difference? And then 2 seconds later, you said, oh, my life has been changed. My health has been transformed. Thanks. So men are that way. But now that he sees, now that we helped him see that, it is the triplex that's doing that for you. He's told everybody in town. So
it's not a miracle from above.
Right.
I mean, it could be, but it's not just like poosh. And I feel like what?
No, go ahead.
Oh, I feel like the best thing to do with skeptical men are, if there's somebody on your overall team that has a husband like Jake that was a skeptic, I feel like 3-way calls with them are huge to get the husbands together. It's so funny. My nickname for Jake is the husband whisperer because he came from a place of not being totally on board to really seeing the benefits in the products and the business. So guys can connect with guys. It's going to be really hard for me to convince your husband that this is awesome. But when a guy hears it from another guy, it's huge. And so if there's any way to get your husband on one of those calls, I really suggest doing it, because there are going to be times where you have to work, especially if you're really trying to take your business to the next level. There's going to be times where it's going to be kind of, a hard on your family a little bit. I mean, right now, if Jake were totally skeptic and I'm sitting here doing this call at 8:30 at night when my kids are naked, running back and forth, not in bed when they need to be, you know what I mean? It just would make it so much harder on me. And now we're both on board and we're shooting on the evil eye to get in bed, and he's with me and we're on the same team. And it just makes taking your business to the next level so much easier.
I love that. It does make such a difference when your spouse gets on board. I did a call last night for a team, and I was talking about how once my husband really jumped on board, he's similar story to Jake. And once he finally jumped on board, it completely changed my business. But I crack up now when he makes a Plexus post. It gets all this attention and everybody's sharing it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I could say the same exact thing and it does not get near the attention. It makes such a difference when a man comes out and is, telling what these products are doing for him. It makes such a difference.
Yeah.
Amber and I cracked up last week because our dad, we finally got him to consistently taking the products. And so, we've only been doing this 2.5 years, and we finally hey, you got to take it every day, Dad. And so he's like, Jana and Amber, he's like, yeah, the doctors lowered my blood pressure medication, and he lowered my cholesterol medication. And the only thing I've really been doing is taking my Plexus products every day. And then he's like, I'm not saying that that's it. I'm just saying, I'm like, oh my gosh, are you serious? So anyway,
they're the last 2 minutes, but once they get on board, they're
For sure. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Our dad cracks us up though. Okay. So next question.
I gave a sample to Ted Cruz today, and Ted will change his whole campaign to pink. So be looking for that.
I'm sure it'll happen.
That's awesome.
Okay. Next question is, what's the biggest thing you did to grow your teams? And I know that's a big question, but what's your best suggestion on how to duplicate?
Easy. That's the easiest question. 3-way calls. Okay, so that's 100% how I started my business. And when you rank up with Plexus, it's hard not to automatically go into management mode where you're helping people, answering questions, that sort of thing. And that was the biggest mistake I made. I mean, as a leader, you need to continue to really grow your business while you manage your team, not the other way around. And so the last probably month, I've really done some soul searching. I'm like, what was I doing at the beginning that my business skyrocketed? And I thought, I think you even told me, you were like, duh, you were doing 3-way calls. So here over the last 2 to 3 weeks, I have been doing, 5 to 10, and I do them on Zoom. I do them on Zoom just like this because I like to read people and I like to gauge the conversation with their face. And so I've been doing 5 to 10 Zoom 3-way calls a day. And y'all, I'm going to tell you, I do nothing special. I get on there, I small talk, I tell my testimony, and then I just, ask them questions about what they're wanting from Plexus. I have 100% sign up rate from Zoom 3-way calls, and I'm nothing special. You can do the same thing. Since Thursday, I had a new guy join my team, and he really took advantage of me offering to do 3-way calls. And in 4 days, he has added 7 people. He has halfway fast started. He added 4 himself, and then 1 of his people have already gone silver, continuing to duplicate the 3-way calls. So I'm telling you, you may have to stretch yourself a little bit because I'm telling you, I was terrible at them at first and they felt so awkward. But if you really want your business to boom in a gigantic way, start doing 3-way calls. Do the calls with your potentials and offer yourself up to your team. Say, hey, find 2 people and let's get on a 3-way call this week. And if you just encourage them to do that way, sometimes when we sign up as ambassadors, there's so much stuff. Hey, you need to go silver, but guess what? You can fast start. Hey, go to my team page. And then they go to your team page and it's like boom, 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 boom. And and then you're like, here's this file, here's this graphic, here's this. And then that person is just like overwhelmed. So I think this is one of your next questions about what we do after we sign them up. But my first thing is find someone for a 3-way call.
And Timie, when you have your potential, are you doing that with your upline and your potential?
No, I just, I've gotten to the point now where I don't really necessarily need Christy. Everybody above me is diamond and they're super busy too.
But when you first started doing these, is that what you were doing?
For sure. When I first started doing it, absolutely. But the goal is, here's why 3-way calls are awesome. Okay? Say I get on a call, my new ambassador's on a call, and their potential's on a call. Okay? There's 3 of us on there. Why is it beneficial for me? It's beneficial for me as the host because, if I'm not prepared, trust me, before I get on this 3-way call, I'm going to start reading about Plexus, learning testimonials. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to be on top of my game. So that's a benefit for me. Then I'm also training someone who's new underneath me to do exactly what I'm doing. And then I'm getting a new potential, a new ambassador. Okay? Why is it good for the middle person? Well, obviously because they probably don't know a ton about the business. So they're learning from me. Okay? They're learning how I say things, how I talk to people, how I share the excitement of the business. They're learning that. Then they also have this new person that is probably going to join their team because of the power of 3-way calls. So that's what they benefit from it. What the new person benefits is they already get the team dynamic. You know what I mean? They get that, hey, I'm not just joining this person, I'm joining this person and that person. You know what I mean? It just teaches them, hey, you're not in this alone. So it just feels more inviting and exciting to them. Plus, they're going to learn more with two people being on there, getting the different dynamics of like what this person has to say and what this person has to say. So that is 100% where I put my energy, and I promise you guys, it pays off. Another thing that I do, and there's talk back and forth. A lot of people say, oh, you don't need to do this, or you do, but I give out a ton of samples. I feel like as a small business, we don't have overhead, which is awesome. With my husband owning a couple businesses, I know that like anytime you start a small business, you have a ton of overhead. We're so lucky that we don't have that. So I invest every single month in samples. I give them to my potentials. I keep them in my purse. I even give them to new ambassadors. So if I have new ambassadors that I know can't afford samples right off the bat, I give them some of my samples. And yeah, it's an investment. And yeah, it costs some money. And I buy more samples now than when I first started. But it's been something that I have gradually invested more and more in as my business grows.
Hey, that's awesome. Timmy, can you tell us how many level ones you have, just so that people can get an idea of how this actually does work? Like this is the way to go.
Well, okay. Well, we have a crazy amount of level ones. So I hate telling people how many level ones we have, because I don't want it to be discouraging. But between the two of us, we have about 350 to 400 level ones.
Yeah. And I don't think it is discouraging. I love hearing that, and then I love hearing, you hear Rosalind Payne's story, how she went emerald with 30. So I love that people see that anybody can do this, and it, obviously there's lots of people in between there. So
honestly, in 30 is average. 30 is what most diamond ambassadors have. So it takes all kinds.
Yeah. But I just wanted you to tell them that because, hey, three-way calls apparently work. So
they do.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Amber, do you have the next one?
Yeah, well, let me ask you this. We have one question about this. How do you get a potential to do a three-way call? I'm finding some resistance when it's offered. So how do you offer it in a way that's going to make this new person want to get on there, or this potential?
Okay. The number one thing when I talk to people is, okay, there's two things. What are you saying? Are you saying too much? Because less is more when you're talking to people. Don't, if you're like, I'm with Plexus Worldwide, it's a hell of a, and how you're talking to them, okay? Everybody wants to be a part of something fun. If you're saying, well, I'd really like to get you on a three-way call with my sponsor to give you a little bit of education on the company, like people are going to be like, no, thank you. So what I do is I just keep it short and sweet. So say this is a typical thing I do. Okay, so pretend I'm not a Sapphire ambassador. Pretend I'm just a normal person, and I'm going to get my upline involved. So I would probably wear my Plexus gear or something, and then I'm talking to somebody, and I mention Plexus, and they say, "What's Plexus?" Okay, here's a trick that I use that you guys are free to use. It works every time. I act like they know what Plexus is, because nobody wants to be the last person to know what something awesome is. So I say, "What? You don't know what Plexus is?" And they say, "No." And I'm like, "Oh my, Jake, she doesn't know what, yes, you do know what Plexus, you're kidding me, aren't you?" And by this point, she's like, "No, what is Plexus?" They've given you permission now to come in for the kill. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you don't know what Plexus is. It's awesome. And then I gear it to who I'm talking to. If it's a man, I know that they probably work their booty off and don't eat healthy and just try to get home to their family or whoever. So I'll say, oh my gosh, it's an awesome company. It gives you sustained energy. Even though I know we eat bad a lot, it really helps get you healthy from the inside out. It's going to help with sleep. It can help reduce joint pain, all sorts of cool stuff. If I'm talking to another girl my age who probably has kids and is worn out, I'm like, girl, plexus, you know that 2 p.m. crash that we all get where we're exhausted and want to go home and take a nap and then we feel worse? That's got stuff that will keep you sustained, and it's natural, like the best stuff. And then I say, oh my gosh, I happen to have a sample in my purse. If I give you one, will you try it? And they always say yes. And then I say, hey, are you on Facebook? And they say yes. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to add you just so I can follow up and see how you like it. Or I get their number or that sort of thing. Then I'll just message them, and I always act super excited to where you even annoy yourself. And I say, hey, Sarah, oh my gosh, I'm dying to hear how you loved that plexus. And when you come at people that way, it's really hard for somebody to flip the switch and be like, I actually didn't like it. They start thinking about, well, I need to tell her something. What did I like? And then they start thinking about the things that they liked, okay? So, and this is what I tell people. Plexus is like dating. It's not, you don't come in for the kill the first night to make out with somebody. You set up the second date, okay? So you don't have to get them on a 3-way call that first time. Nobody wants the guy that comes in and tries to hug up all on you on your first date, do you? No. So as long as you keep that conversation going, hey, are you on Facebook? Then you message in and say, oh my gosh, I'm dying to know how you love the products. Then you say, hey, do you have time to hop on a call real quick? I'd love to talk to you for like 10 minutes. And if you just keep it short and sweet and energetic, that's the best way that I found to interact with people. Don't be too salesy. Just come across as a normal person excited about a company and products.
Yes, plexus. Plexus is not like Tinder.
No, it is not.
More the eHarmony side of things rather than the Tinder side of things.
I don't want anybody trying to go in for the makeout with your plexus people on the first date.
Oh, you're cracking up. Okay, next question. And obviously this will be directed to Jake. We have some guys on our team, as you can see. What is the best way to talk to target guys, to target males, get a conversation going with them? Women are tend to be a lot more relational and a lot more talky. So what's the best way to target guys? And they say, it's hard for me to reach out to female potentials.
Okay, there's so much like, do y'all know Christy Hull? Looks like Kyle. Who is this? Right here, look at him. Josh Robertson. Yes, he does. I swear, when I can just catch a glimpse of you, he looks like Kyle.
I can kind of see it. Obviously I've seen both of them in person. I kind of see what you're
interrupting his spotlight. Carry on.
So I think the key with men, getting other men interested in plexus, is having some credibility. So you want to put yourself out there, whether it's wearing a plexus hat or whether it's making a consistent effort through Facebook posting and just talking to people in general. You're going to naturally run into people, and guys specifically, that once they know that you're out there and you've either got a plexus hat on or whatever, they've either heard of plexus and they're going to ask you about it, or you can just organically bring it up into conversation. So, I love talking to strangers, whether it's men, women, whatever it is. You just kind of listen to what they have to say, and naturally people complain about problems in their life, and a lot of them plexus can help with. So just focus on listening to what other people have to say. Your friends and family, they kind of come along at different points. We've had some people that joined with us immediately, but then it's there's been people that it took a year and a half in our families to be interested or show any interest in plexus. So you just never know with people, but the main thing is just stay consistent. If you want to be a plexus, if you want to be a man ambassador every day of the week, and just be consistent with it.
All day, every day, y'all. Hey.
24/7, what I'm talking about.
tell them about how you targeted dads.
Okay, so
We were thinking about how to expand our Plexus business. And there's so many target markets that you can go for. And Jake was like,
yeah.
that was your turn. That was your cue. And Jake was like,
ding, ding, ding.
yeah.
So what I did was I went on Facebook, and I had always, this was probably a year after we had started Plexus.
It was like around November,
so
December.
I had posted a lot on Facebook about, Plexus and different things, but I had never specifically targeted my friends on Facebook that are men to get them interested in Facebook or in Plexus. So what I did was I just put it out there and said, hey, I'm looking for 5 dads that are exhausted, a little overweight, maybe have some digestive problems. I would bet 75% of the men over the age of 30 in America have indigestion or acid reflux, some form of digestive issue that Plexus can help with.
And maybe even the dad bod.
The dad bod. It had to go. But I just put it out there and said, hey, I'm looking for 5 guys. I kind of took the approach of almost like a personal trainer. I'm not a personal trainer. I wasn't going to go to the gym with them. I wasn't going to say, do 5 push-ups today.
Yes, sir.
My intent was,
drink your Plexus. Give me 10.
My intent was to get 5 men to be interested in Plexus. I sent them some samples and followed up with them, made sure that they ordered, and just kind of kept tabs on them, because men, we're terrible. A lot of times when women set their mind to something, their mind is set on it and they're going to see it through. Men have a hard time doing that because we have a tendency to make sure that everyone else is tended to before we tend to ourselves. And gosh, that's so awful. I mean, it's a selfless act, but in the end, you're actually taking years off of your life that you could be spending with your kids and grandkids and your wife. So that's what I did for the first 10 years of our marriage. I sacrificed every ounce of my body and time and had no social life just so that I could work and build my business. And then I looked up and I was like, oh, wait a minute. I've gained a bunch of weight and I've got dad bod and, I'm a wreck.
And for those of you who can't see, Jake is 6'10". When he says he gained a bunch of weight, there's a lot of room for him to gain a bunch of weight.
Yeah. But, it happens to all of us. And, I just made up my mind that I wanted to get healthy again and get back on track. But so back to the strategy there, all I did was kind of acted like a personal trainer. And I ended up with like 25 guys when I said I wanted 5, but I did all 25. You just kind of set that limit to say there's only 5 spots, but then they all start messaging you and you just kind of keep.
Don't turn them away, honey. Don't turn them away. Work more.
The other thing that I do along with that is I'll just either do a Facebook post where I say, hey, I'm sending out samples today. If you'd like to try some, shoot me your address and I'll send them. Or I'll direct message a guy or just somebody that I think could benefit from the products and just say, hey, I'm sending out samples today. I've been thinking about you. I think these products could really make a difference with your health. If you'll try them, I think you'll like them. What's your address? And I'll send you some samples.
He's literally had nobody say no.
It's a pretty easy no to say no to. It's like if they say no, it's not awkward. On your end, it's not awkward on their end. It's just a really easy kind of soft way of doing it, but it works and it doesn't create friction at any point. So that's what I've had success with. And then it's just a matter of following up with men. I don't know.
That's the key.
I haven't followed up with a lot of women, but
you better not follow up with a bunch of women. You heard me?
So You distracted me. I only follow up with you.
Oh.
My upline is a pain in the butt. Y'all think your upline's bad? Holy cow.
I'm just kidding. You can follow up with women. Just send
Yeah, no,
add them
you're
to the
right.
team, honey.
Yeah. Mhm. So, there's that. Next question.
Oh gosh, I'm dying over here. So I've got my headphones in and my girls are like, what in the world is she laughing at? They can't even hear what's going on and I'm just in here hysterically laughing.
The regular service.
Okay, funnest call we've ever done. Okay, next question. How do you find new connections, warm, cold prospects without appearing to be a hunter?
Okay. Well, this is so funny because, like I said, when we did Super Saturday in Canada, y'all probably heard about a Frank's list. Well, at the Yancey household, we have a Frank's list because our favorite is the second S, and that is
Strangers.
strangers. Because guess what? You don't have to ever see them again if they think you're crazy. So we love talking.
We're probably 75% strangers of
Yeah.
our level ones.
Yeah.
People that, Uber drivers,
Canada. Okay.
tie picker outers at Dillard's.
I've got two stranger stories.
My son ended up in the hospital.
Well,
And
he wasn't. We had a little test done last Friday.
yeah, and so now the nurse, the
recovery room nurse,
is on our Plexus team. We'd never talked to him in our life before.
and he's the one that added 7 people over the weekend. He was literally. I met him Friday. He was Hudson's recovery nurse, and I talked to him about Plexus, and I said, "Oh my gosh, are you on Facebook?" And he said yes, and I added him on Facebook, and that's how it all started. So. This is so easy and it's so fun, okay? So I'll tell you the first one about, so when Chris, the recovery room nurse, joined our team, I met him at Dillard's because he had this girl that he knew who she was a sales manager, and he said, she's fixing to move to California and she's going to be she could be really awesome. So we have to go talk to her before she moves. And I said, okay. So I met him at the mall. This was literally last Friday. So I met him at the mall, and he was freaking out. He was like, oh, my gosh, Timie, what are we going to say to her? He was like about to have a heart attack. And I said, sit back and watch, honey. So we went upstairs, and I went over to the sales section. And I got me, if y'all follow me on Facebook, you saw I got a new little vase and some salt shakers on clearance. I posted them. Well, I got those on clearance for like $20. And so I said, we have to have this is like our peace offering. We have to have a reason to go to the checkout. So I bought those things and we went to the checkout. And he started the conversation because he kind of knew her. So he said, hey, Diane, and we were checking out, and she goes, hey, and he goes, I heard you're moving, and I knew she was moving to California because he had told me, and for those who don't know, California is still pretty wide open as far as being dominated with Plexus. So she said, yeah, she said, I'm moving to California, and I said, oh my gosh, I love California. I have been, do you have a job when you moved to California? And the funny thing is, if you are just direct with people and you're like engaging and kind of funny about it, it's totally acceptable. Like they just go with the flow. And I was like, oh my gosh, do you have a job when you go to California? And she said, no, why? And I said, oh, I've got the perfect job for you. And she said, what? And I said, have you heard of Plexus? And she said, no, what's Plexus? And I said, Chris, she doesn't know what Plexus is. And he was like, what? By now he knew kind of how I do when people say they don't know what Plexus is. And he was like, what? And I said, are you kidding me? You really don't know what Plexus is? And she was like, no. So I turned to the girl that was working on the other end and I said, I bet you know what Plexus is. And she said, yeah, I do. And I said, Diane, how do you not know what Plexus is? Oh my gosh. I was like, it's a company. It's health and wellness. The products are natural. You'll love it. hey, you're friends with Chris on Facebook. If I give you samples, will you try them? And he can follow up and see how you like them. And she said yes. And guess what? This was 2 days ago, and she's loving her samples, and she's fixing to join our team. Yeah, it's like, I'm telling you, if you just start doing it, it's so awkward at first, but it gets easier, okay? Here's another way I did it. When we were in Canada for Super Saturday, Jake had to find a tie because he forgot to pack his. So we went into, they have what's called like Hudson Bay, which is kind of like our Dillard's. So we went in there, and I always have samples with me. So I had samples. This super cute girl helped us find a tie. And I said, I just started talking to her, and she said something about being tired, and I was like, girl. And I always, when somebody says something about like being tired or blah, 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 have you guys, nod your head if you've heard of the feel, felt, found method? Yeah? Okay, I use this all the time. And she said, I'm so tired today. I work and I don't get off till 9. And I said, sister, oh my gosh, I used to feel the same way. That like 2 p.m., I would come home and nap with my kids, and then I would wake up and feel worse. Like, oh my gosh. What I found was this awesome product. It's called Plexus. Have you heard of it? And she said, no. And so I did my whole, theatrical, oh my gosh, what? Yeah, you probably don't know about Plexus. It's so new here. Like, oh my gosh, it's crazy over in the United States, blah, blah, blah. Hey, if I give you samples, will you try them? She was like, yeah, I'd love to. I said, okay, well, first, are you on Facebook? And she said, yeah. And so I said, okay, I'm going to add you as soon as I leave here because you're going to love these samples, and then you're going to want to talk to me about getting on my Plexus team because we're pretty awesome. And so I got back to the United States, added her on Facebook, and she said, yeah, I love these products. I just can't really afford them right now. And I said, I get it. It can be expensive. Totally get it. And so I just kind of kept the conversation going with her, like, hey, a week went by. Hey, just wanted to check in and see if you wanted to order any products. Well, guess what? I got a gift from heaven. I don't know if y'all noticed, but Plexus was doing a 20% off special for Canada, New Zealand, and Australia. So guess what I did? Honey, I emailed every single person that I talked to while I was in Canada, which was only 2 people because we didn't get out much because it was so cold. Oh my gosh. It was like 20 degrees below. What? We almost died. I mean, it's a miracle that we made it back. But anyways, so I emailed the front desk guy, and I messaged the girl, and I said, oh my gosh, Larissa, it's your lucky day. Plexus is 20% off for Canada. And she joined my team. So the trick is, one, acting like if they say they don't know what Plexus is, acting like they're the last person in the world to know what Plexus is. Because then they beg you to tell them, and then you feel less awkward. It just makes an easier transition rather than you're like, have you heard of Plexus? Well, let me tell you what Plexus is. You know what I mean? If they're saying, no, what is it? It's so much easier for you just to go into it. And it's with it being less awkward, you're going to do a better job, and you're not going to be nervous. So act like they're the last one in the world. Then just be fun. Like, talk to them about how fun it is. Like, if you don't know a ton about the products, that's okay. Just be like, man, I just feel so much better. Or this company's so fun. Just be somebody that you would want to be partnered with. And people are drawn to that. So that's the key to it. And again, like I told y'all, I mean, give samples out as you can afford to. But the fortune is in the follow-up. So just be sure and follow up with them because that's the key.
Timmy, when you give out samples, do you give out the 3-day pack? Do you give out one slim? What do you give out?
I give out 3-day slim accelerator.
Okay.
So, but I mean, I think a lot of people give different stuff. I never give more than a 3-day because then people have the excuse of, well, I tried it for 7 days and I didn't lose 10 pounds. I only lost 3 pounds. And you're like, what? So I give 3 days, and I give out a piece of paper. Oh, look who jumped on the table to join us. Grumpy cat. So then I give out a piece of paper that's like, hey, this is what you can expect. You can expect an increase in energy. You want to say hi? Say hi. Okay, love you. I'll be in a minute.
Mommy.
What?
Mommy.
Okay.
After I go to bed, will you give me a kiss?
I will. So, where was I at? My cat and one of my kids. I give out the 3-day sample. I never give more than 3 days. I give out a piece of paper that says this is what you can expect: increase in energy, decrease in appetite, possibly better sleep, aka, honey, you're not going to lose a pant size. So that's what I do.
That's awesome. And your little girl, oh my gosh, that kind of melted my heart a little bit. That was so sweet.
She's a mess. Yeah, that's where Jake disappeared to tuck them in bed because they've been running around like wild banshees.
That's funny. Now, I want to tell you guys something real quick, and I hope this is as funny to y'all as it is in my head. When we were in Hawaii, Jana knows what I'm going to tell. Timmy knows what I'm going to tell too. We hadn't actually met Timmy at this point, but, you know, we just seen her on Facebook like we all do, and how, like, all of her pictures are, like, these amazingly beautiful pictures for the most part.
Perfect.
And so when we were in Hawaii, you know, you want to get the right shot with the sunset behind you, and you want to look good because, you know, you only got one chance or whatever. And so somehow we started saying, okay, come on, you know how you'll hear in a photo shoot, they'll say, work it, work it. Instead, we would say, be Timie Yancey, be Timie Yancey. So after all that, after this whole call, we all need to walk away from here and be Timie Yancey, because she has given us, and Jake has given us, some really amazing tips. I hope you guys have taken really great notes and taken advantage. Maybe we can get that trending. Hashtag be Timie Yancey.
Right, that's hilarious. And if you want to know what she's talking about, I've perfected the look pose, okay? It's super easy, and once you get it down, all you have to do is pose like that in every picture, and you're going to look skinny. You just need the camera up a little bit, tilt it a little bit. You got your hands on your hip, you cock one leg, and you look kind of to the side. You'll look and see every single picture of mine is the same. But, honey, don't stray from that, because you don't want a fat picture floating around on Facebook.
I'm dying.
We've had a lot of stuff said on this call that we've never had said on any other call. Kids in the closet, I think, was my favorite. Oh man.
Oh gosh, that was hilarious.
You're taking pictures with everybody. You gotta stick to the same pose, or you're gonna have one of those Tyra Banks moments where you look like a person.
Yes, so get your pose perfected, everyone. Before you go to Hawaii, make sure you have the pose perfected. And especially if you take a picture with Timmy, you want to make sure you've got the pose down, or you're going to look really crummy standing next to
you. Post it, hashtag be Timie Yancey.
Or, you know, come find me and I'll teach you the pose. You're welcome. It will change your life.
She did teach it to us while we were in Hawaii. She taught it to us after Amber told her the whole be Timie Yancey in my face.
No, I told her that story at the Christmas party at Celeste.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
The second time I'd been around.
We did all practice the pose at Celeste's house.
We did, yes.
I feel like all the men on this call right now are kind of like, what's happening?
These are not our normal calls. We're just going to say.
And that's why we had the hashtag. Our hashtag is Here Come the Yanceys, because it's a hot mess. We come in like a wrecking ball. We're like, we're here, everybody.
I love it. All right. Well, we sure do appreciate it so much. Oh my gosh. I mean, like, I took away so much from this call. Like, oh my goodness, it was so good. And so I think I'm going to make this like a contest that like my whole team has to watch this call back. So
oh my gosh. Well,
it was so good.
Hey, will y'all send me the link so I can send it to my team too and be like, y'all need to step it up. Look how many cute people with their spouses were on this call.
Of course we will. We'll send you the link. For sure.
That's a requirement to join our team is you have to be a cute person. So.
I know. Hey, there are some cute people, and those spouses, I'm telling you, they're pretty cute themselves.
True.
All right, Amber, you want to close it?
Yeah, that was all we had. I'm going to ask my buddy Jared Jackson if he would close us in prayer. And Timmy, and make sure to tell Jake, thank you so very much. This was so good. We can't thank y'all enough. We'll have to schedule a time somewhere in the future, maybe just to do another one, just so we can all sit around and laugh for a while, because it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I want to hear all the stories about how you bombarded random strangers.
Yes, we will let you know. Absolutely.
For sure.
All right, Jared, go ahead. Thank you.
All right. Heavenly Father, we want to say we love you. And God, it has been good to laugh and to enjoy each other's company and to, Lord, just learn a little bit more about opportunities that you give. And Father, we pray that you would give us wisdom in moving forward with our Plexus company, and God, that you would give us favor with people that we encounter, and not just so that our businesses flourish, Lord, but that we would have opportunities to build relationships with people, and that it'd be about something bigger than just us. God, I pray that you would bless all the couples that set in on this, and even the ones that weren't able to sit as couples. Lord, that you would just continue to nurture their relationship and grow them closer together, whether it's through the business venture or just life in general. God, we thank you again for our leadership of Jana and Amber. And God, I pray that you just continue to pour out on their lives and bless them, as they are such a blessing to us. Again, we thank you for tonight and the opportunity to just laugh and have fun and still learn so much. It's in Jesus' beautiful name. Amen.
All right. We love you guys. Timie, you better go kiss that beautiful baby girl.
I will. Y'all have a good night. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
After party. I feel like we just had one big long after party.
Yes, I feel like that's what that was, but I actually learned from this after party.
Yeah, it was good.
Man,
it was good.
Really good. So
Hi,
good.
Amber and Tommy. We miss you guys.
I know, it's fun seeing all the couples on here.
I know, I love it. Some of y'all have never even seen your spouses.
We need to do this more often.
I know.
I wish Steve had been on here.
Where's Valerie, Josh? Is that this? Oh, there she is. I could only see like this much of your hair.
Is it Valerie's birthday?
It is. I forgot. Happy
birthday! I don't even know you, Valerie, but happy birthday. I kind of feel like I know you. So,
y'all, I'm throwing this out there to all y'all that are still left. Valerie, my best friend in the world, her name's Christy. Valerie is her sister. And I have tried to get Christy to join my team probably since the day I started. So now that her sister's on my team, we're all working on her. So the day that Christy joins Plexus, our whole team's going to freak out and get really excited because Josh and Valerie are going to make it happen.
Amber, Valerie wasn't here to hear the explanation of your nation's head, and she said to tell you to wipe your screen off.
Oh. He was shaving his head, and the razor got away from him just a smidge.
She said, they got something on their screen.
That's hilarious.
I told him if it was like right here, he'd be like, some Indian woman or whatever. I'm being completely politically incorrect.
They keep calling me the Avatar at work. I don't know.
He's now a Hindu.
No.
It happened right before we went out on our Valentine's Day date. We went out on Friday. So at dinner, he had a Band-Aid on his head.
We stopped at CVS before we got to the restaurant. We're like, will you stop? Will this make it stop?
And before I posted pictures, I had to put it in an app and blur it out.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Oh, anyway.
Jana and Amber, Philip wanted to say hi.
Hey, Philip.
Hey, how are you?
I went to high school with Philip. That seemed like it was just 5 years ago, right? We just graduated 5 years ago.
We graduated together. All the summer camps and everything. Yep.
That's right. Oh my gosh. It's so good to actually see you and hear you.
Bye, Jared and Tina.
I think I was a little older than Amber, but yeah, I remember you too.
Y'all are a lot older than me.
Decades. Sure.
So old.
I'm a few months older than Amber, and she says that to me, so don't feel too bad.
I would let him we had the scarf down dinner really fast, so now we're eating our fruit. We were going to eat it during the call because I had put on the thing grab your popcorn and your spouse, but nobody else had grabbed food. I'm not going to be sitting here shoving food in my face. It's fruit though, but still.
Sure it is.
Strawberries.
We should have had everybody get their popcorn out.
I know, but then I didn't know how I would ask questions.
No, it would have been a little hard. I don't know. I feel like it would have worked with this call somehow, some way. I feel like we could have fit that in.
Nope, no bluebell. Tommy Sheffield says you still look beautiful. He sent that in a private message, so maybe I shouldn't have just said it in front of everybody.
Thank you.
No.
Didn't y'all love that call?
That was so good.
Oh my gosh, I still can't get over it.
Do you guys remember Jake at the Halloween party as the jockey?
Yes.
Jockey. So I kept picturing.
I still can't over how many kids and grandkids Jeannie Ledford has.
Yeah.
Hey, Amber, I just posted that. There's a picture of me that I took with Jake at Leaders Retreat. I just posted it on that thread, that very thing. It's like,
That was hilarious.
that was hilarious. I was like,
in your picture, do you have the Timie Yancey pose?
I've been practicing. I was just stalking her pictures trying to figure it out.
Timie Yancey.
So
funny.
How would you
The
do
other
that?
day I was trying to get a really good picture of our little puppy. I'm like, Joey. And Jonathan goes, Joey, be Timie Yancey.
I did. And it worked. It worked.
He was like,
Good. Yay, Joey.
You know, I still can't get over that 75% of their level ones are strangers. Like that's something I still struggle with. I feel like such a dork when I talk to. Well, there's times that I feel like it comes across natural, but most of the time I just feel like a big dork. I just like totally mind boggled me. Like I just want to hang out with her for like a day when she's out and about and hear her do it.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be better.
Yeah.
What? You don't know what Plexus is?
What?
Do what, Terry?
When she's like, what? I can't believe you don't know what Plexus is?
I know. I think it's so good.
I get how that would work, like, and make them want to know. But do you think it would make some people feel like kind of stupid? Like, gosh, I don't know. Gee,
I don't know. She signed up probably 300 level ones doing it, so I guess it worked. I don't know. I don't know. I think if you did it to where it was condescending to someone, like it made them feel like you were looking down on them for not knowing. But I think you could do it in a fun way. I think that's what she was saying. I think you could do it in a fun way. That's right, Jill. I think it's in how you say it.
Now I'm picturing all these terrible ways to say it. It's making
We're going to be getting all these messages this week being like, that didn't work. They're mad at me now.
I've lost all my friends on Facebook.
Because I couldn't believe that they'd never heard of Plexus.
I called them a loser. I don't know what's wrong with that.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Oh, man.
So
Okay,
funny.
I was walking out of Walmart today, had my little Plexus shirt on. I'm putting my groceries in the back of my car. This lady is walking towards me, and she's like, Plexus? Do you have some Plexus stuff? I felt like a drug dealer. We were working out of the back of my car, and I was handing her my stuff. I mean, it was the craziest thing. So, yeah, I was dealing Plexus out of the back of my car.
That's so awesome. Is she going to buy from you?
Yeah, I feel pretty sure I feel pretty sure she will. She even said, you know what, I'll probably sign up because it's cheaper. I'm like, duh. I mean, yeah, it was great. Her name was Terry even. It was just the funniest thing. She stopped me because we were walking right at each other as I was putting away my stuff in my car. It was the craziest. And we're out in the parking lot. And then, of course, everybody else is kind of watching. I thought, oh, this looks a little shady. Yeah, I'm digging through my purse finding samples for her.
You were totally being Timie Yancey today, Terry.
I was Timie Yancey. That was me.
I'm so proud of you.
I'm going to have to get that walk down, though, in that little pose.
Yeah, you are. You can do it, though. If anybody can do it, you can pull it off, Terry.
I might. Well, I got that cab driver.
I know. Terry signed up her cab driver from California. I love it.
Yeah. I love how she called me concerned to add him to any groups because someone said he might be a